Yo, what's up, everybody? Get Jeurys Familia off our Phillies. Dave Dombrowski, wake up! Wake up! Yo, we'll be live in 30 seconds right here on Trending in the AM. Yo, what's up, everybody? Very good morning here at Trending in the AM. It is Friday, the end of the week. But yet, we got to talk about somebody that's already gone to sleep and has taken the weekend and started his weekend a little too soon. And that's Dave Dombrowski, the Phillies. Win last night 8-7, but yet they almost blow it. They had a big lead. Jeurys Familia is still on the team. I know about 17,000 people fell for that knockoff fake Twitter account that said he was demoted. He was not demoted or designated for assignment yet. We got that on the agenda today on Trending the AM. We have a new segment called What's Trending Right Now. We're going to debut that segment here in a little bit. We'll see. We'll get a little Phillies talk, a little Eagles talk, a little trending talk, a little bit of everything today. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, at Bearded Knowledge. We got Dylan Davis here to my side, Dylan JD98, and Jason Voorhees at Mustang 3651. Good morning, gentlemen. And are we ready for the weekend?
What's going on, Phil?
I'm fantastic.
And yes, we're quite ready for this weekend.
Quite ready for the weekend. Jason, are you like me? You know, it doesn't matter at the weekend. It's no different than Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to us.
It never matters because
Exactly.
we're in retail.
Exactly.
Retail sucks. We work when everyone else is off. Everyone's partying while we were at work.
Pretty much spot on right there. All right. So make sure if you're watching on social media, guys, anywhere, like, retweet, share, follow on all platforms. Make sure you head to the YouTube page, hit the like and subscribe button if you're watching over there. It's the best way to get involved with the show. You can put your comments, questions, thoughts, and concerns. Gentlemen, Dylan, me and you, we did the pregame show yesterday, and, you know, we had our predictions, and pretty much Zach Wheeler pitched pretty close to what we expected, a pretty dominating performance against a pretty bad Pittsburgh Pirates team. And then all of a sudden, Jeurys Familia comes in the ninth inning with a 6-run lead and proceeds to give up 5 more runs. What in the world does Jeurys Familia have to do to get designated for assignment and get kicked off this team? I think, guys, we have seen enough of Familia to know that he is – we knew he was washed when we signed him. And yet we are still here at the end of July, and Familia is still being trotted out there on a nightly basis. Dylan, what the hell has to happen to get him off this team?
Yeah, so first of all, shout out Jason, because we knew Wheeler would pitch pretty well, and he did, but Jason off by 1 walk of his stat line. So shout out Jason for that stat line prediction for Zach Wheeler. But I think last night is exactly what he needed to do to be DFA'd. I know he's not gone yet. I would imagine soon it'll happen. I get what Thompson was doing. It's an 8-2 game. You don't want to throw any combination of Sir Anthony or Hand or even Alvarado. Anyone like that did not have to pitch last night. They shouldn't have had to pitch last night.
Correct.
But then at a certain point, and I know Sir Anthony's got to get loose and warmed up, but at a certain point, how do you not pull the plug a little earlier than that? Like, dude, if Sir Anthony comes in and just slips with 1 pitch, it's a tie game. It's 8-6 with a runner on third and 1 out. Like, you're putting him in a very dangerous situation, a very high leverage situation coming in when this game was a blowout for 8.5 innings. It was completely ridiculous for Familia to stay in that long. I don't know how many gap shots he had to give up, how many walks he had to give up. He had 2 0-2 counts and then just hung a changeup or a sinker right down the middle of the plate for a base clearing triple. He did exactly what he had to do last night to get DFA'd. I would be surprised if he passed the trade deadline without getting DFA'd, to be honest.
All right, Jason, he just said it would be surprised if he led. I'd be surprised if he was there in the bullpen tonight. Wouldn't it be a big failure for Dave Dombrowski, Rob Thompson, if you did not move Familia? I think last night was that nail in the coffin, and he should get kicked off this team this afternoon. He should not be there today.
And we've said the same thing about Odubel. And yet, so this is what you get when you go basement bargain hunting. I mean, this is the problem with Dave Dombrowski. I love Dave Dombrowski. He's actually, his resume is pretty good, but a lot of times it's these kind of moves that get kind of overlooked because, you know, he made some splashes trading a lot of prospects to get good players. But he when he signs relief pitchers, for some reason, it's always these guys that are like has-been retools. I know, you know, Corey Knebel, he's been up and down. I'm not like necessarily saying he's been a flop, but he's definitely not been exactly what we thought we were doing. And the other guy, Brad Hand, I love Brad Hand, but he's kind of older now too, and he is what he is. He's in his role. But everyone knew Familia was way past his prime. I mean, he was past his prime 3 years ago. So I don't understand. But do I think he's going to be gone? I don't, because I've said the same thing about Odubel every single day. Get him off my team, get him off my team. And yet here we are, almost August, and Odubel is still on the damn team.
Right,
Let me ask you guys.
Go ahead.
Sorry, at what point does, even if he's there in the bullpen, I know you use who you got and guys get nights off, but at what point does Thompson just say, he's not DFA'd, but I'm not using him?
I mean, if I'm Rob Thompson, you kind of have to have that attitude,
right?
There, because you can't even, like, you always have that one guy in your bullpen that is the guy that comes in 6-7 run games, whether you're up or down 6 or 7 runs, and Familia is that supposed to be that guy, I guess, at this point, but you can't even trust him to come in a 6-run game and not give up 5 runs
against the Pirates,
a team that didn't have a single guy hitting over 259 in their starting line. They only had 3 guys hitting over 250, 4 guys hitting over 240 in their lineup. And you're telling me that Familia can't get 3 outs before giving up 5 runs?
Couldn't get 2.
What's that?
He couldn't get 2 outs.
He couldn't get 2 outs.
He got the first out, and that was it.
So, I mean, do we need to we put pressure on Rob Thompson? We talk about the players. We talk about all these different things with this Phillies team, all the problems. Are we, as the fans and the people that talk about them and the content creators, not putting enough pressure on Dave Dombrowski? We always talk about holding Daryl Morey accountable. You know, Doc Rivers, Joe Girardi, Nick Sirianni. We put all these Howie Roseman. We put all the executives and coaches under a pretty, you know, heavy amount of pressure. But I don't see enough pressure being put on Dave Dombrowski. He's not in his first year in Philly now. You know, he came in at the end of COVID 2020. He's been here for a little while now. How much better is this team now than it was from the day he got here? And I know he had a lot of work to work around because, you know, Clentak really screwed this team and organization up. But what has he done? We are still a mediocre team at this point. Do we need to start putting more pressure and talking more about Dave Dombrowski and whether he's failing in his role as the president and GM of the Phillies? Jason?
I mean, you know where I stand on that. I've been saying it, like, what is he doing? Like, and I get, you know, I commented last night because I watched the show. I didn't get to join you guys, but, you know, I was commenting about, you know, why is Dombrowski so quiet? And of course, we all want the crown jewel. I mean, listen, let's face it. Castillo would be an awesome addition. Like, he's controllable past this year. He gives you a pitcher, not just for the playoff run this year, but he gives you a starting pitcher next year. We've talked about the guy on the A's. I'm drawing a blank. Why do I always draw blanks? Montas. But I know
yesterday, Big Ed.
I know, to Dylan's point, that we're probably not going to see that kind of move. But there's still plenty of guys to be had out there. I mean, I think of a couple. I came up with a couple guys that I looked at, you know, that I would like to see target. If you're not going to get a Castillo and you're not going to get a Montas, there's Brady Singer from the Royals. You could get a package of Brady Singer and Michael Taylor and not give up major prospects. And that would help you. At center field, you get a Gold Glover, former Gold Glover. And Brady Singer is not a superstar, but he's still young. And I believe he's actually controllable for another year. You could get a Tyler Mahle from the Reds. It's not Castillo, but he's still like that would be like my Gibson of this year, my Kyle Gibson. Or you could get a Paul Blackburn from the A's, who's not Montas, but he's actually a decent pitcher. So there's guys.
There are quite a few of those step down from the Castillo and Montas guys available. I think there's a couple guys on the Rangers that are available too. Like what's the guy? He always dominates us. Perez.
Martin Perez.
Perez. Yeah. He's available. I don't know what his stats are now, but when we played them last, he dominated us again. Look, I actually would be impressed if he was able to even pull off 2 or 3 of those secondary moves, because it seems like he's got his, hands under his butt and he's not doing anything at this point, Dylan.
Gentlemen, I sit on the opposite end of this one. So real quick to your point, Jason, they're not going to make a big move. Like I think everyone needs to get that through their head. They're not going after Castillo. Montes might even take too much, but I had Paul Hembo on my show yesterday and we were talking trade deadline targets. And he said a team to keep your eye on if you're the Phillies or Phillies fans is the Oakland A's with the fire sale they're going to have. And there's a couple guys that you could put a package for. He mentioned Ramon Laureano in center field. He mentioned Elvis Andrews because they want to get rid of that contract at shortstop and would give you another guy in the infield and make you better defensively. And then he mentioned Frankie Montas, but Paul Blackburn's also there, like you mentioned, Jason. So there could be a package to put together with Oakland that makes you better in multiple areas. So we'll see what he does. He's going to do something. But my point is everyone's banging their fists on the table to do it now. And I want them to do it now. Problem is, guys, look around the league. There's been 2 moves, and those 2 moves are by the 2 New York teams who lead both leagues and are pushing for a World Series title. Now, we hope that the Phillies could get to that level. Now, and the Phillies are banging on the door to make the playoffs. They're not leading the NL East by 9 games, and they're not going to go out and make. So the Yankees and the Mets made a move last night. They got a little better. That's it. No one else has made any moves yet. You're going to see a lot closer to deadline and on deadline day. So I think everyone's just got to take a breath.
Right.
He'll get it done.
Say that you get one day closer. Again,
I get it. But think about Howie. But think about the Eagles all season, right? I was one of them. What is he doing? He's got to do something. And that's when other teams were doing stuff too. And then next thing you know, bang, 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 bang. That's not going to happen. But
the season is different than the regular season. When
I get it.
A wild card chase. When you're every day that ticks by, you're one day closer to the end of the season.
I get it.
Thoughts, guys. John McGork checking in here, hoping for Tyler Mahle.
Any of them.
Hap, Thor. I would take any of them. Jason, thoughts on those names?
I mean, I would.
Would you prefer some over others? Or?
We need improvements. I mean, Thor to me is a guy. He's only control. It's only a 1-year deal, so you'd be getting the rest of his.
I think you could actually get Thor pretty cheap because if you're willing to pay him because he was signed to such a big contract for 1 year, if you're not asking the Angels to pay a lot of that, I think you could get him for a pretty cheap penny.
Well, you could, and then here's the deal. He hasn't been a world beater this year, so his contract, he's not going to get a 20. He bet on himself when he left the Mets, and obviously he got a huge contract, but he has not performed to that contract. So he would be a guy that you probably could get on the cheap. And then maybe if he does well down the stretch, helps this team get into the postseason and does well in the postseason, maybe you re-sign him to a 2-year, cheaper deal. I don't know, but you're right. They have to do something. Dylan, I agree. I don't think he's not going to do anything.
I know.
But I think it's more so a frustration with the fact that this team has been out of the postseason for so long. We're right on the doorstep, and he's just sitting back. Like, I get it. Yeah, he might make that move. Look, he could surprise us. He could make that move and get Castillo. He could just say, fuck it, and go all in. You don't know he won't do that.
Right.
If they could kind of come up with something and say, well, we'll take 2 of your guys. But point is, we're just frustrated as fans, so I think that sometimes comes out because we've just been out of the postseason for so long.
Oh, I know.
We're dying for you. I mean, know. I mean, you've been saying it too. We're all in here.
I just see the clock ticking, and every time I have to see Bradley Falter out there, every time I have to see Odubel Herrera out there, every time I have to see Didi Gregorius out there, I just see the clock ticking. We lost 3 to the Cubs. I would not be surprised if we lost 1 or 2 of the next 3 against the Pirates. Just because his team is so inconsistent. It wouldn't surprise anybody. You have to make a move now. Every game that ticks off. I've been calling for a move. I wanted the Phillies to be the first team to make a trade.
Yeah.
as we got closer to the deadline, because you got to strike first. As people fall off the board, every time a player gets traded, everybody else's value goes up because there's less guys available. So you got to make the move now. You got Pittsburgh right across the dugout or the diamond from you. Just go get 2 of their players right now.
The only thing I'll say is the Benintendi move and even the move the Mets made last night, the market seems okay at the moment. Like it doesn't look for a Castillo or anything like that. It's going to take a high level prospect or multiple, but a guy that like a remote, like anybody from the A's outside of maybe Frankie Montes, anything like that, Noah Syndergaard, Ian Happ, it doesn't look like it's going to take any of your guys that Dombrowski listed.
Or Abel or
right. But
again, I'm still on board and all on board with moving Ohtani for the right guy. As long as it's a controllable guy. There's no need to keep him. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Like, I get that a lot of people don't want to move Abel, but he is 30 years old. Like, me,
Mick Abel, the young kid that's in single A.
Oh, you're talking Mick Abel. Okay. Yeah. I thought you meant the guy.
No, the other Abel.
Yeah.
Appel.
He's the one that's Appel. That's totally different. Mark Appel is totally different. Yo, you want Mark Appel? Go for it. I'll trade him in a heartbeat.
I for some reason I was confusing.
Yeah. Wait.
No, that's good.
See, I don't understand though if you only have to move one of those guys. See, I'm looking at it as the Phillies are ready to contend now. They went all in and got Schwarber and Castellanos, which I get it. Castellanos has been a flop. But your team is ready to contend now. Those guys are not going to be ready for 4 to 5 years. By that point, Harper might be pissed off and want to get out of here. Like, I want to win now. So
Harper's also going to be past his prime.
I get the hesitation, but I also feel that you can't just have a hardline stance and say, we're not trading any of our top prospects. Oh, my God, we're not doing it. We used to do that back in the day when you didn't want to trade. I remember when nobody wanted to trade Don Brown. Mm-hmm. And look what happened with Don Brown. He was like the highest of all highest prospects, and the guy sucked. Okay?
We traded a lot of prospects back then.
Listen, I'm not saying that Nick Painter is not going to be a top-of-the-line rotation guy, but, dude, it ain't going to be for 5 years. So you got to take a hard look and say.
Let's even backtrack just a year or two ago. What's Sixto Sanchez doing in the majors right now?
Oh, his arm's blown out.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember Spencer Howard? Remember when no one wanted to move Spencer Howard?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I know I get ridiculed because I've said it.
There's someone to agree with you.
I believe it all the time. Prospects are just that. They're prospects. But the problem is you only move them you're not going to move them. You're not going to move them for Thor.
No, I would move a Painter if I was getting Soto. I would. I would move Painter, Abel,
actually, all right, Jason, I'm going to pose a question to you. This is just fun topic because it's not going to happen. But there are rumors and grumblings that Shohei Ohtani, however the say his, I can't say his name, may be available in a trade. He's a free agent after the 2023 season. He is a great pitcher. He's a power bat. He could do everything. If the Angels called the Phillies and said, would you like Ohtani? We want Painter, Ohtani, Hoskins, Bone, something like that. One of your top prospects, two of your top 3 prospects, 2 of your starting players, and I don't know, some other things. Are you making that move and bringing Ohtani in? I mean, you've got to break the bank to do that.
In a heartbeat.
You're giving up 3-4 minor leaguers, some of your top guys. You're giving up 2
in a heartbeat.
Okay, I'm asking because
he's a star. He's
I guarantee you there's people that will say no.
Oh, there's definitely people that will say no, but they are wrong. Exactly. You do it for Soto too. And
that's the thing here. We talk about, what would you trade for Kevin Durant, or we talked earlier, would you trade for Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, and how many draft picks you would trade for those guys? Ohtani and Soto. You can throw Soto in the equation. If there's an opportunity to get a player like that, now we talked about Soto and his personality and whether you'd want to do it, but Ohtani, if you've got the opportunity to bring him, I would break the farm system all over again to bring a guy like that in, because how many opportunities do you get at that?
He's the face of baseball at the moment.
Yeah.
You give anything they ask for, essentially. Unless they were like, swap me Bryce Harper, run me Bryce Harper. Nah, I'm good.
And they can have Nick
Outside of
Castellanos.
that, you can have whatever you want, bro.
Nick
Soto,
Castellanos,
damn near the
come
same
on.
thing. Dude, they are the two. They are the two young. Still, like you think of Tatis is in the conversation for young stars, and Acuna's in the conversation. And it's Soto and Ohtani, and Ohtani's essentially the face of baseball at the moment. You give whatever they want, and anyone that tells you otherwise.
Even if you cannot guarantee he stays past next year.
No, then that's out. That's out the window. That's out the window. You don't do it. You don't do it for 2 months. You do it for 5+ years.
You get him for next year too, though. It's not just 2 months. You get him this year and next year.
Yeah, I believe you'd be able to sign him.
Yeah.
I want a long-term extension coming with.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's interesting because people have just like laughed at the idea of making a trade for these prospects. And there are guys you could make us now. Ohtani is not going to get traded by the deadline. Mike Trout, I know, Jason, you shared the story that he's got a back issue now. Well, he's always had back issues, but it looks like the Angels are legitimately considering just stripping it down and starting over again.
They have to be the worst run organization to ever live. Dude, you have, and I know Trout's injured, you have 2 of the top, when they're healthy, 3 players, if not the top 2 players in all of Major League on your team. And you just can't figure it. You can't do anything else. You can't figure it out.
It's pathetic what they do. And they spend their money. They bring
they went out and signed. They went out, got Anthony Rendon the year after the Nationals won the World Series. They paid him a lot.
For the year again.
Yeah. Listen, they haven't been the luckiest. Trout's banged up all the time. Rendon's been out since he's got there. It hasn't worked out. But still, like, you don't trade those dudes. You lock them up and figure out the rest later.
Yep. If you're Dave Dombrowski, are you making that phone call right now?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They ain't taking it.
They're not. They see Dave Dombrowski's name. They're like, yeah.
Not worth my time. But you have to try.
Secretary, tell him I'm busy. I'm getting a shave right now.
Yeah.
Look,
I think it's an interesting.
All you have to do is look at the other GM across the road. Howie Roseman is in on almost every big name guy, no matter what. Even when he has that position filled, he's always looking. You have to. You owe that to not only the team, you owe it to the fans. You need to be aggressive. I'm not saying sell the farm, but
here's the other, and there's another aspect to the Ohtani, the Soto, and the big names. Look at that Mets organization. In a short year or so, they flipped the culture up there. If the Phillies don't make a move, there's a good chance that one of those big names ends up in New York. And do you really want to be facing Soto or Ohtani or anybody like that every year for the next 10, 12 years? Don't you want to kind of outbid your competitor, the guy that you're going head-to-head with 19 times a year? We're going to be fighting the division for them every single year. You got to outbid those guys.
Luckily, it sounds like it's down to the Padres and Card. Not luckily, because we're chasing them in the wild card, but not our division in the future. Sounds like they're out on that. It's one of them too for Soto. Ohtani, who the hell knows what happened? Dude, I know there's smoke. I cannot see him actually being moved, especially within the next 4 days or so. That's tough, but I don't know.
Jason?
I mean, I can't believe the Angels are going to trade him, even with the situation that they've kind of failed Trout. I mean, I'm actually kind of sad. Like Mike Trout, I hope it's not a career-ending thing. Like they said, it's pretty serious. Like he had
They said it's rare, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my concern. Like the guy, whoever the doctor was, said that it's not something that's normal. So that's kind of, when you hear that, that's kind of scary. Like to me, at least for an athlete, because Mike Trout 100%. Is like on pace to be like put up all-time numbers, and like if he's hurt now, it would just be. I mean, not only because he's a local guy, but like just the fact that I root for guys like that. Like he's a good dude. Like I love that he comes to the Eagles games. Like to me, I love that. Like that's awesome.
Wears your Sixers hoodies to the stadium.
I know. Just I mean, I hope that it's not long.
Pandering, Phil. Pandering.
Whoa, that my headset was a little loud for that shout there. I can't hear now.
Wait, hold on. So speaking of outfielders, I want to bring this back to Jason for 1 second with the Phillies and the trade deadline, Phil. I brought this up to you about center field yesterday and how people are talking about Christian Pache, and there's people out there that just want a defensive plus in center field. And I get it, right? Because of the defensive issues we've had. But they're good with a guy like Christian Pache or something who's going to be a positive in the field, but's going to hit 200 for you. I don't get it. So, like, are you good with that too? Or, like, if you're going out to get a center fielder, I think you need a bat in the outfield to help solidify this lineup. Because if you just want a defense, Matt Vierling's not a plus. Matt Vierling's not a negative. He's fine in center field. Roman Quinn, that's exactly what Roman Quinn gave you. Speed and a good glove, and then hit for 200. So, like, why? And then everyone hated him, myself included, because he couldn't do anything at the plate. So why are people okay with saying, oh, go give me Christian Pache because he's got a gold glove, but he's going to hit 195 for us? People are going to hate him in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I see this. I see both sides of the argument. Like, I actually personally like Michael Taylor, but he hits 275. Like, it's not.
That's a lot different.
Not hitting, and he has a gold glove. And I wanted Benintendi, who obviously is a gold glove and hit 300. But yeah, I'm not in on those guys. And I agree with what you're saying. Like, why bring in a guy when you could just bring up Mickey Moniak? Like, Moniak played good defense.
That was my exact words yesterday when he brought it up.
Moniak played good defense. So I
Look,
wouldn't do that. I agree. If you're going to get somebody, you have to have some help at the plate, especially when this team is so up and down at the plate.
Here's going to be the move that happens, guys. And I thought about it. I didn't know the guy's stats. I had no idea before the show. I did a quick search before the show. I'm like, you know what? This guy, because of Benintendi, there's an extra outfielder on the Yankees. And I'm like, all right, let me see how Mr. Joey Gallo's performing here.
No.
Oh my God. He's hit like 159.
I guess you haven't seen anything. I mean, why would you? But I've seen a couple of Yankees Twitter people on my timeline.
Oh my God.
Dude, they hate him.
They hate him, dude.
I was just thinking, a Didi for Gallo's swap. We get a power, a guy that I didn't even realize this, that Joey Gallo's won 2 gold gloves in his career. So he's a better outfielder than I thought. And then I saw his batting average. I was like, he was never a 300 hitter. The dude's got 13 home runs on it. He's a guy that's supposed to hit 40. He's got 13. You think we're pissed at Nick Castellanos? Holy crap. Joey Gallo is having an awful season in New York.
Yeah.
And Dave Kingman Jr.
Dude, if he is the move that Dave Dombrowski makes, oh my God.
Nah.
He's going to blow up.
I think he's smarter than that.
Are you sure about that?
I think so.
You can see that, Joey Gallo at Citizen Bank Park and be like, all right, this guy can hit some home runs. He's a good defensive outfielder. We need a good defensive center fielder,
He should be hitting home runs in Yankee Stadium, but he's not.
Exactly. Dude, in my mind, I'm thinking Gene Segura coming back, moving stop back to shortstop. You got to do something with Didi Gregorius. I'm like, oh, the Yankees. Oh, Joey Gallo. Like, I just kept connecting dots. I'm like, let me see what Gallo's stats are. I was like, oh my God, if that's the move that happens. Because we've had Joey Gallo connected to the Phillies for like 4 years now. So, and we always seem to get the guy that's connected to a Philly team 4 years later. You know what I mean? So, I was seeing the dots. I connected them, and I was like, I hope that doesn't happen. All right, so tonight, Phillies game. Pirates, Bradley Falter, again, on the bump, going up against a guy that could be auditioning for Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies. Jose Quintana is on the mound tonight. Guys, do we want to see Quintana pitch well so that maybe Dombrowski's like, I need to go get that guy? Or do we just, do we not even want Jose? Because we've mentioned all these names. We haven't brought Quintana back up into the equation today.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Quintana. Like, I get that he does help your rotation, but he's not controllable. I think it is.
He's going to be a very, very cheap option.
I get that, but I think it's a big mistake to trade any prospect for a guy that you're only going to have as a rental when it doesn't guarantee you a playoff spot. It's not like this team is like the second wild card or even the first, and they're definitely making the playoffs. Let's get a guy. No, you don't know that you're making the playoffs, and I'm not trading for a guy that you're not going to have past next year because you already have Kyle Gibson as a free agent. You have Zach Eflin. I mean, unless it's like just, okay, give us your 70th prospect for Quintana. Okay, yeah, here, have it. I mean, that helps, yeah. But I'm not like giving anything of substance away for a guy that is basically this year's Kyle Gibson, but he's not controllable past next year.
No, we don't want him to pitch well because A, I want the Phillies to win, and then B, if he doesn't pitch well, but even if Dombrowski would still be in on him, it would drive his price down possibly a little bit. But no, I agree with Jay. I want to give up a lot, but if they asked, if I had to give up my 29th or 30th ranked prospect, I'd do it.
You think about you guys brought up
right.
Today,
they gave up 19, 21.
If you're giving up 19 or 20 or even 20 and 21 for Quintana, he's got a sub-4 ERA. He's got a 3.70 ERA, a 1.2 WHIP. He's pitched pretty well on a bad baseball team this year. Right. Kind of a little career revival. So
right. maybe you can re-sign him to a 1-year deal or prove his deal or something like that next year. Who knows? But no, we do not want him to pitch well. To answer your question,
why can't we win 3-0 tonight? He pitches half decently, but we still win a close game. I mean, the odds of us winning 3-0 in a Bradley Falter start.
That's because I like to lay the hammer against bad teams, Phil.
Yeah, exactly.
8 runs.
All right, I want to bring up something about last night's game. I know, Dylan, you were watching the game. Jason, were you watching last night's game?
I saw some of it.
All right, I watched some of it too. I was flipping between reruns of Chicago PD and the Phillies game last night. And Nick Castellanos went 3 for 5 last night. Okay, 3 singles though. But I did turn it on right when he had his RBI single. I don't know if you guys saw his RBI single. It was the best hit ball I've seen from him in a long time. He pulled a ground ball through the shortstop third base hole there with authority there. Can we like pull a little glimmer of hope from one RBI single there, Dylan?
100%. You can. I know, like the one was a bloop hitter or whatever, but you can pull a glimmer of hope from the whole night from him being 3 of 5.
Hold on. We got some inside information here from John. A friend of his works for the Pirates. Told me the Pirates are trying to trade Quintana before his start tonight. So we might not even be facing Quintana tonight. Maybe Quintana's pitching for the Phillies tonight.
Yeah.
How awkward would that be? Let me pack my locker on one side, go the other side, and start for that team tonight.
Switch the uniform over.
Yeah, that would be awkward. But
yeah, maybe it'll be a bullpen game for them too. That would be lovely.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very impressed. I mean, it was the first time I've seen him pull a ball hard in a position where there's runners on base.
No, 100%. And I know you're looking at that one specifically, but like I said, even going 3 for 5 with 3 singles, it's step 1 in the right direction. Getting on base consistently, putting the ball in play consistently is something that he's struggled with over the last 2 months. And even if they're just singles for the next game or two, that's fine, because guess what's going to start coming after the singles? After he starts getting that eye back and after he starts getting that motion back, then the double in the gap's going to come. The double down the line is going to come. And then we'll start to see a snowball effect. But here's the best part, Phil. What do we talk about with Jalen Hurts' first practice? He's got to stack them, right?
Yep, stack them.
Guess what Castellanos has to do? Stack it. I'm not asking for 3 for 5, bro, but get a 2-hit night or a 1-hit night with an RBI double or a homer or something like that. Start to stack these positive days, and then we'll start to see a different Nick Castellanos. So 3 for 5 last night means nothing.
Tonight, go 1 for 4, but hit a home run. And
right. It means nothing if he goes 0 for 4 and 0 for 4 the next game. Like,
right. Yeah. Jason, are you on board that you can draw a positive from a hard hit ball? I mean, he could have just gotten lucky, the way he's been seeing the ball. He might have just closed his eyes, swung, and got, the ball finds the bat occasionally, Jason?
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I took more from the at bat where he didn't get a hit as being a positive. I look at his batting approach. He's not swinging at that low and away, which he's been swinging at all season. Right. All season, that low and away, and that's basically what he's been locked in on. I saw him last night be more patient, and he actually took 3 pitches low and away. That, to me, signals that he's turning it around. I firmly believe within the next 2 weeks he's going to be, I'm not saying out of the slump, but he'll be starting to show, and we'll be like, oh,
trending upward.
Nick Castellanos, yeah,
trending a little upward.
I believe it, but hopefully I'm right.
Okay. All right. I mean, so I mean, in my mind, I had a plan for tonight. Now I'm seeing this. Quintana might start like insider information, and now I have to rethink. Last night, do we first off, do we roll out with the same lineup tonight? I mean, outside of the fact that Stubbs won't start again, JT will slot in at 3 or 4. Everybody will bump back down one slot. But is there any confidence in any of you guys that Bohm gets left in the 3 hole? Because we talked about it yesterday on the pregame show. You know, he in the 3 hole because of his bat or because JT was out of the lineup? And is JT going to slot into 3, bump back Bohm back down to 6 or 7, or do we go with a lineup somewhere along the lines of Bohm in that 3 hole still, Hall, whatever, JT, and you bump Castellanos down, even though Castellanos went 3 for 5? What do we expect from the lineup tonight? Because last night, every single guy got a hit last night. Bohm had a couple hits. Schwarber had a couple hits. Everybody was hitting last night. What do we expect from the lineup tonight, Dylan?
It's funny because last night on the pregame show, we sat here and I said, it's just because JT's out of the lineup tonight. It'll be fine. He'll go back. And then you watch what Bohm did to plate last night, and you watch the way he was able to drive runs in the middle of the order. And it's, dude, you can't move him down yet. Like I know I said last night, it's a positive to have a hot bat at the bottom end of your lineup to give it some stability. He's your best hitter at the moment. He's got to be in the middle of this order, getting runners on base ahead of him, and had the opportunity to drive those runs in. So I don't know what you do. I wouldn't even mind seeing him stay in the 3 hole or even bump him to the 4 hole and have JT 3 or 4, like whatever rotation. But if Derek Hall's cleaning up, I know, like, where do you put Derek Hall if he's not cleaning up with that power? Right. You put him 5, 6. You're not going to put him 7 past. So we'll see what Thompson decides to do.
I have Bohm 3, Hall 4, JT 5, and then Castellanos 6, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, that's fine with me as well. I just think Bohm can't slide past 4 at this point. Like, he's so hot and he's hitting with runners in scoring position. Leave him in a spot where he can have runners in scoring position more often. Oh, that's a great
Hall
point,
won't
John.
start if Quintana's pitches. That's a fair point. It's a fair point. Jason, what are you doing with Bohm? And I mean, obviously, like we said, we weren't sure whether he was in the 3 hole with JT out or not. What are your thoughts there?
I mean, I think I look at this roster right now and I look at the way that this team has hit. I know it's unpopular, but I still think that Schwarber should be in the 3 hole with that power and hitting home runs, and the fact that a lot of his home runs are solo shots, and have Bohm as the leadoff. But that being said, if it's going to be Schwarber staying in the leadoff, which I'm okay with, I think the way he's playing, he's suited right now in this lineup better at the 3 hole. Then I'm keeping Bohm there because he is, as Dylan said, he's your best hitter. He has the highest average. He's actually driving the ball like I saw when he was a rookie. He's
off
driving
the ground,
the ball all field. Exactly. And if I'm putting anybody anywhere, then I would put JT either in the 4 or the 5, and I wouldn't mess with Bohm. I would leave him either. But like I said, I know I'm not going to get agreed with about Schwarber, but I just my opinion.
I get what you're
I
saying.
know a lot of people don't want to mess with fit, don't break what's fit. But the fact is that Schwarber has actually been struggling lately anyway in the leadoff spot. So
with your theory though on Schwarber, the way you're saying it, describing it, to me it almost feels like maybe the 4 hole would be better for Schwarber than the 3 hole. I don't know. I always think the 3 hole hitter needs to be your best hitter in your lineup. The best pure hitter in your lineup needs to be in the 3 hole. Chase Utley was in the 3 hole. He was the best pure hitter on that team. That's who goes in the 3 hole. And Bohm is, at least at this moment, the best pure hitter we've got on this team. So, I mean, I
am okay though, because and I do kind of agree with you, Phil. I would like him more in the 4, but Jason, your point is valid. Like, before last night when he hit the 3-run shot, his last 8 home runs or whatever were solo shots. And that's a problem. The National League leader, his home runs would be a lot more productive if they weren't solo shots, right? So if you can put him in a position in the lineup where guys are getting him on base ahead of him, then hell yes. Like I agree with the logic, and I agree there, but I would probably slot him maybe in the 4, like Phil said, just because
the home run power.
Yeah, right. And to be honest, if he's not hitting a home run, he's not really getting on base at the moment.
Yeah, and I guess my reasoning for it is, and I get, once again, I get analytics. I get a lot of people said, oh, you don't want to break it, his rhythm. But it's like, I look at this team in the way that it struggled mightily with inconsistency, and the fact that they don't they're so streaky. When you have that situation, you have to find a solution to start kind of turning around those negative effects of that lineup. And to me, Schwarber is like the guy that is producing the home runs, but a lot of it is solo home runs. Even like you said, I think Pete Alonso has like 85 RBIs or something. He's got like 25 more RBI. Not that I'm saying Pete Alonso is better than Schwarber, but I'm saying his home runs, because he's in the 3-hole, he's not more guys.
I think.
And if you
so here's a question, Jason, for you. Segura will be back next week, probably. I know he's a great 2-hole hitter, but he has bat leadoff. Do you start a lineup then when Segura comes back where you go Segura 1, you leave Hoskins 2, Bohm 3, and Schwarber 4?
Yeah.
Then you got 2 to 3 guys that have high on, because Hoskins might not be hitting right now, but his on-base percentage is still one of the highest on the team, if not actually the highest right now.
Yeah.
Since Harper's not playing. You would then have 3 guys that get on base over 31 or 310, 320, 330 ahead of him. And then you've got 2 to 3 guys always on base when Schwarber comes up to hit that home run. I don't know. I don't love the idea of Segura leading off, but I mean,
he's
kind of makes sense, right?
He used to lead off for Milwaukee when he was in Milwaukee.
Was he? Okay.
Most
of his time in Philly, he's been 2, 7, or 8. So
I think another positive with possibly moving Schwarber into that situation is his mindset gets to change, right? As a leadoff, don't get me wrong, he's hit a couple leadoff home runs this season, but as a leadoff guy, your main responsibility is to get on base. And like I said, he's not really getting on base if he's not putting the ball in the air and hitting a home run. He's got a couple singles here and there. That's really it, right? So you put him in that 4-hole, that cleanup spot, and he gets runners on. He gets to say, "Yo, I just got to drive these guys in. I don't have to worry about getting nothing else. Let me get these guys in. Let me move these guys over, whatever the case may be." He doesn't have to worry every game. I got to get on base. So
let's put some predictions out there for tonight for the Phillies game. Quintana versus Falter. At least technically, it's Quintana at this point.
At the moment,
we're gonna see if John's got good inside sources or not here tonight. So.
What if they trade Falter for Quintana as part of the package?
That would be amazingly hilarious. We might have to go live from the pizza shop if that news broke, because that would be hilarious. I want to get your predictions. Dylan, we'll start with you. Predictions for tonight's game.
Yeah, I think it's a Phillies win. I know we're scared because Bailey Falter is on the mound, but guess what, John? I'm going to take some stock into what you're throwing out there right now, and I'm going to guess that Jose Quintana doesn't start tonight. And even if he does, I think the Phillies bats, they did something, again, very nice last night, putting up 8 runs on the board fairly easily, over double-digit hits. I think that'll continue. I think the bats are starting to get a little hot. I think Alec Boehm stays at the top of the lineup. I'll say Phillies win. They're not going to score 8, but I'll say 6-3, 6-4.
I got 6-4 if Quintana starts. If Quintana does not start, I could see us getting maybe 8-4. So that's my thought. 6-4, 8-4. That's it. Jason, thoughts on your prediction for tonight's game?
I think Phillies win, and I had 7-4. So
so we're all in the same page there, right? Exactly. You're just calling the middle because you don't know. Me, I'm giving 2 different predictions based off of we're right there. All right, I want to start debuting a new segment. It's not going to be set every Friday, random times. Okay, guys. So I'm going to share my screen here, and what we're doing here, we're calling this "What's Trending." So I got my Twitter account up here, guys. Brought it up, and we're just going to click on sports here. What's trending in sports news right now? And then we're just gonna go down this list and maybe touch on a couple of these. I know you guys know nothing about the G1 climax, so we don't need to talk about that, do we?
Sounds like something else.
I know what it is. It's a huge pay-per-view for New Japan Pro Wrestling, the G1 climax. Just so you know, it is not what your dirty mind is thinking of at 9:14 a.m. Just so you know.
Sorry.
Just so you know. Baker Mayfield is trending.
Ooh.
Did you guys see his comments? It's nice to be in an organization with Matt Rule that knows how to manage a quarterback. I'm paraphrasing. He basically threw Cleveland in a bus and said how much he loves being in Carolina right now. Any thoughts or comments there, boys?
I love it. Baker's spiteful, bro. He's
Yeah, he
always going to
is.
wear his heart on the sleeve. That's why, like, week 1, I know the Eagles will be on during that time. Like, I hope that the other game on national television is Browns Carolina because you got to watch it.
Yeah.
You have to watch Baker's revenge game.
Yeah, absolutely. Next on this list, Jason. Well, we already covered Showtime Ohtani. I'm just going to call him Showtime because I can't say Shohei Ohtani. I just can't get those words together. Brittany Griner, Joe Biden. I don't want to get political, Jason, but we've never addressed the Brittany Griner situation on this show. You know, she's still over there in Russia. I don't know if you guys have been following that trial at all.
They want to make a trade, don't they?
They want to trade for the guy. I forget his name, but Nicolas Cage played him in that movie.
He's like a murderer.
He's like a major gun smuggler and weapon smuggler, and they want to trade her for him. And actually, there's a Marine, ex-Marine that's over there in prison too. They want to trade. Has this country not done enough have they done enough to try to get Brittany Griner back here?
I mean, I think it's a joke. Like, I mean, I honestly, like, you want to trade for something. I mean,
trade inmates.
What have we come to? You're going to trade it some convict or something, you know, that sold arms to kill people.
Dude, I don't know if you guys
give them back to Russia. Give them back to Russia. I don't
know if you guys have been following this. I mean, the Russians are basically, and I don't want to get political. I know it's on the list. We're saying whatever's trending, but I mean, I've been following a little bit of this trial the last couple of weeks and everything. They are making this completely when she's speaking, they're only translating portions of it. When she's spoken to in Russian, they're only translating some of it to her. They made her on their live TV. Somehow we got footage of it. Sign a document, and she asks, "What is it?" Because she can't read it because it's in Russian, and they say it doesn't matter. You have to sign it. So she signs it. Like, they have her in a cage in the courtroom, in an actual cage.
They're nuts. We're going to get hacked.
Insane, Jason. I am blown away by this situation, how it's unfolding.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad, but
I don't know enough to speak on it. I don't want to be insensitive,
right?
Because it's not like would she get caught like having weed on her or whatever in Russia?
Very tiny amount,
which I get, but you're in Russia, bro. Like, come, please don't have that, even if it's a mistake. But like, it's not right, and it would be awesome to get her back. But like, I don't know the arms dealer, the smuggler, the murderer, whatever the hell he is. But like, are you gonna trade like almost like a terrorist back to Russia? I don't know. I don't know enough to speak on it. I don't want to sound insensitive or stupid, but it just sounds weird. Like Jason said, you're going to trade inmates. Like, it just, I don't know. Has it been done before?
I mean,
I'm sure it happens all the time. Trades. I mean,
can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
We went in and got Bin Laden in an air raid. Why can't we do that with her and like save her life?
You're gonna break into Russian prison.
Yeah, it's totally different.
And then if you do that, we're probably going to a world war if that happens. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, in case he's got it, they're literally blowing it out of
proportion. Trust me, I know. My point is, it's Russia, bro.
Yeah,
like that's the problem. You got caught in Russia.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not right. Not right at all.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like.
All right.
We'd all be locked up.
Ben Attendee, we talked about him a little bit. He made his Yankees debut. I'm pretty sure he went 0 for his Yankees debut. The Browns obviously are trending because of the Baker Mayfield comments. Let's see. Oslo, I don't even know what that is. Hashtag Team India. That is. Hey, look.
Familia.
Look who's trending. Jeurys Familia. Yeah, I don't think.
No. Yeah. What are the Eagles trending for?
I don't know. Let's click on this and see what the first topic pops up when you click on I don't know. Something comes up. Don't blame me. They're just showing pictures of everybody showing up to practice today.
Very nice. Very nice.
There we go. Because you really need that day off after your first practice of the year.
Yesterday.
Oh yeah. New faces at midnight green. Did you guys see AJ Brown go on the first day when everybody reported to training camp? Did they sign? AJ Brown just showed up at the team store and bought everybody in the jersey. That was a pretty easy way and a good way. Jason, send him to the Brittany. Exactly. They hold a 4-hour. Oh yeah, I did see this.
Yeah.
I did see this trending. It's not on the list yet. 4-hour minimum. They had to pull it from his contract, probably because he was getting too much negative publicity from.
Which again, you want to talk about stupidity, bro? It's already out there. It makes you look even worse.
Yeah, that you probably threw a fit that everybody saw this. All right, what else we got trending here? Live Golf Tour. You guys don't know much about that, but Bubba Watson, 2-time Masters champion, has decided to join the Saudis and take $90 to $100 million up front of their blood money to go join. Bubba is one of the most popular golfers in America.
Did I see?
He's known as a big family man. What's that, Jason?
Did I see it right that Trump was at the Live Golf tournament?
Yeah, they're hosting. So basically, the Live Golf Tour is hosting one of their events at one of Trump's golf courses because the PGA Tour way early, maybe 2 years ago even, or late last year, after this whole January 6th stuff happened and all, they had multiple events at Trump courses, and they pulled all the tournaments from Trump courses because they didn't want to be associated with Donald Trump. So, of course, the Live Tour, the Saudis, as soon as they did it, they signed up to do events at Trump tours because that's what it is. Paige Spiranek, she is 110% my favorite golfer. Again, I'm surprised I am not surprised a Moscatelli knows who Paige Spiranek is. Do you guys know who Paige Spiranek is?
Heard the name, don't know her.
Yeah, Google search her after the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Ryan Jensen thing sucks for Tampa.
What happened there?
So he got carted off yesterday with a knee injury, but then later in the day, reports came out that they fear it's a very serious knee injury for the center. So that's a big blow to Mr. Tampa Bay.
Okay. Yeah, I actually kind of seeing that there. I kind of forgot Todd Bowles was the coach there in Tampa Bay, honestly. So that kind of refreshed that piece of memory there to me too. Draymond Green trending above that one. I know our man Scotty put a short out on the DSM Media YouTube page about Draymond Green thinks he deserves a max contract, guys.
Yeah.
No. Dylan.
No, man. Like Draymond, I get it. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a champion. He's a leader. He does everything on the basketball floor for that team. My man, I'm sorry. In this day and age.
How old is he now? 33, 34?
You factor in the age and the fact that he doesn't average probably more than 8 or 9 points a game. You're not getting a max, bro. You're not. No offense. I know he's incredibly important to what they do in Golden State. You can't get a max because you rebound and pass the ball well and defend. Like, if that was the case, I mean, hey, Ben Simmons might get a max or would have gotten a max before, but he's not now.
He's the kind of guy, he averages, 8 points. He's basically averages Russell Wilson type stats, just under the triple-double.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook. What did I say?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, same thing, right? Same difference. All right, going down here. Let's see. Aaron Judge had a walk-off home run last night?
Yeah.
Aaron
0-0 with the Royals.
Coming to Philly, right?
Yeah.
Cardinals are trending. I know why the Cardinals are trending. It's which Cardinals is trending. It could be Cardinals that are trending. You could be they're trending because of Kyler Murray pulling that out of their contract, but he also could be trending because they're in on Juan Soto. There's two.
I thought it was the Soto one, but I think you're right. I think it might be the Kyler situation.
Let's see what happens.
Drum roll, please. Oh yeah, TMZ reporting on it.
Yeah. The third thing down is the Cardinals. Cardinals. Yeah, definitely that. It's definitely the Kyler Murray stuff right there.
I can't believe they took it out of the contract.
Yeah.
Or announced that they took it out of the contract.
All right, that was the end of that. There was one other thing that was trending before the show that isn't trending anymore. It was Ed Reed, and I want to bring up a different tweet. Let's see if I can find it. It was in one of the group chats, and we'll end the show with this fun little conversation here. There is the picture. Jason has shared it. My computer sucks. Yeah, there we go.
I know where this is going, and I don't know who to pick.
I know who to pick. I think there's no doubt about this. So Ed Reed was trending because of this post. Choose your 2000s, all-star secondary. You get any two cornerbacks, any two safeties. Guys, I'm going to go first because I think it's no doubt about it. It's Darrell Rivas from column 2. It is Asante Samuel from column 1. It's Ed Reed, and it's Brian Dawkins. And if you can't pick from the same row, you go Brian Dawkins, you skip Ed Reed, and you put Troy Polamalu. I don't think there's a doubt there that they're the best 4 to 5 right there. Dylan? Or if you agree. Want a minute, I'll let Jason go if you need a minute.
I got to pull it up. I can't see it on the screen. No, I know, but I can't. It's so small.
I agree 110%. Darrelle Revis is number 1 on that list. I disagree with Asante, even though I loved him. I would either go Champ or Charles Woodson.
I'm pretty sure Jason is signed Asante Samuel jersey right now, somewhere in his house.
God damn, that is tough. I'm going to go Revis, and I'll go Champ, and then Sean Taylor was great, but
Sean Taylor was great.
I would probably go Ed and Sean Taylor, or Ed and B-Doc, but I'll say Ed and Sean Taylor.
So you're putting Sean Taylor ahead of Troy Polamalu?
Maybe. I mean,
dude,
this list is so tough.
This is one of the toughest. Now, if I knew Scotty does all these little shorts and these things with the graphics behind him, if I knew how to do that, I would do a short on this. But I don't know how to do the graphic stuff, so I'll leave that to Scotty.
Scotty says Charles Woodson. Yeah, dude, like I don't know. Like Darrell is definitely on my list.
I got mine up.
Troy, Casey saying Troy, Ed Reed, Cam Champ, and Darrell. No order.
I'm going. So my order, Asante. Well, yeah, there's no order, but my 4 is Asante Samuel. It's got to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're biased because you got the signed jersey.
Well, no, yeah, and I love the guy. Champ Bailey. I think Champ Bailey. Darrelle Revis is the best cover corner in history, probably, or one of them. But I think Champ Bailey was in his prime. I didn't know anybody that did it better. Yeah. Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins. I think that's the easy one. Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins, probably the 2 best safeties of our time.
Our generation, absolutely.
I mean, back in the day, I'd say Ronnie Lott, but
the dude had his finger amputated, so he didn't miss any game time.
Who?
That's Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, I know.
He hurt his finger. He had his finger amputated so he could play in the game. I mean, that there, like, man, that's toughness. But he was way before this time frame.
Whoever made this is a jerk.
Yeah, because you see these kind of things all over
social media all the time.
This is like so well put together. So well put together. There's not one name on here that doesn't belong in at least the conversation. I mean, you can name any 4 of these guys, and I'd be like, all right, you make a good point. Like, I didn't bash you for saying Sean Taylor. I mean, great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would actually take Sean Taylor over Troyer, but it's just, I don't know.
I mean, the potential that Sean Taylor had was outstanding. And you know what? I'm just looking at this list. I mean,
Nnamdi Asomugha, why is he on that list?
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Nnamdi Asomugha was pretty damn good when he was in Oakland. He was one of the best. We just have a negative feeling towards him because of his time in Philly.
Yeah, but when he was in Oakland, should he be on a list with Darrelle Revis, Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, Asante Samuel? Like, was he that good in his time in Oakland? He was good.
We're getting a lot of people saying Charles Woodson. And you know what? I might have to go back and think about that because now as I think about it more, I mean, he was in his time. He was at the beginning of the 2000s there. He was pretty damn good.
And Champ was amazing when I was
Champ. Ty Law was
Ty Law is slept on.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough. You're right. This is
who made this. Can we find out who made this? Can we fight them for sure? Because that was probably one of the best lists we've ever seen put together on social media there. I don't think it could be beat right there.
No.
Yeah. That was very interesting there. Hey, I like this whole trending segment. You know, we might make this a regular weekly thing on this show. Hey, maybe even twice a week on I should have been thinking
hashtag what's trending.
Hashtag what's trending on Trending in the AM.
Yeah.
I like Scotty. I was Scotty. Ty Law was nasty, but I hate him. Laugh out loud.
And Rodney Harrison, what's he on? NBC or is he on ESPN? Wherever he is on.
NBC.
I can't. He annoys
I'm with
me.
you, Scotty.
Yeah, I can't say I like Rodney Harrison's report. Oh, real quick. We got like literally a minute left. All right. And I saw my man Chris Zuzian. He does stuff with the Gambler. He does some golf stuff. I work with him, occasionally and stuff like that. He had shared a tweet about Harry Kalas and just a memory of Harry Kalas or whatnot. And then I responded to him with, "We've been blessed in Philly. Harry Kalas, Mark Zumoff, Merrill Reese, some of the greatest sports announcers of all time in Philly. And then he said Merrill Reese he is not a fan of, at least compared to the other guys. He thinks Merrill Reese might be slightly overrated.
Wow.
And it got me thinking, how would you rank the 3 greatest announcers in Philly? Harry Kalas, Mark Zumoff, and Merrill Reese. And I actually thought he might be right. Compared to those other 2, he would be probably 3 on my list. I would have Harry Kalas 1, Mark Zumoff 2, Merrill Reese. Dylan, how would you rank the 3 guys?
I would probably agree with you. Now, listen, I grew up with more of Zumoff. Obviously,
you didn't have as
extended
much
pitch.
Harry Kalas time. As
Right. But as far back as I can remember watching a game with my grandpa, like Harry Kalas was the guy. I also take into account excitement and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but when you're calling a baseball game compared to a basketball game, Zumoff and him are very close, 1 and 2. I'll lean HK 1 because he's a legend. Zumoff's basically a legend, but he's not there yet. And then we need a little more time away from him to be a legend. And then I'll go Merrill. But I think the whole Merrill slightly overrated thing is a little tough. Yeah, Scott, it's very Zumoff's calls.
I think it's an age thing also. You know what I mean? The guys in their 20s might not have the same affinity towards Harry Kalas like me and Jason, you know, who we were listening to Harry Kalas when we were 8, 9 years old. So back in the 80s and stuff. Jason, where would you go? HK, Zumoff, and then Reese, or would you put Reese ahead of any of them?
No, I think honestly, this might be crazy, but because I'm an older guy, so you know I'm HK, but I think Zumoff, like the energy that he exudes, I don't know if anybody can top that. Like honestly, and I know he's not on Harry Kalas's level as far as like nationally, like, you know, because Harry Kalas did like national stuff. But I think if you looked at it just like from a personal preference or who you think is actually better, I think you could make the case that Zumoff belongs at the top of that list.
You know, followed
by Harry Kalas, and then obviously Merrill Reese. But just because he's the 3rd, I agree. I agree with Dylan. I don't think that makes him overrated. Like Merrill Reese has been doing it longer than we've been alive. Yeah. Like I'm 46 years old and he's been doing it for what?
There's also something about I don't hear Merrill often because I'm hardly ever listening to the radio for an Eagles game. But there's something, that voice, when you hear it once game time starts and you hear that, there's something a little different. But what you should do, Phil, if you want to keep this conversation going for fun on Monday, is start off with each of their best. Do Merrill's Super Bowl call, do Harry's World Series call, and do a great call from
KC to put that together. I wouldn't know. So I pulled it up. So, you know, Chris just said, man, I really liked Harry K. Incredible voice. Sharing the post. I said, Philly has been blessed. Harry K. And then Chris responds, Merrill Reese, not the biggest fan, but he has a strong following. And then some other guys, I don't even know who this is. William Salamone. He's a rise. He does a Rise and Fire podcast. It's a gambling thing. Reese is awful. This comment is Rise and Fire approved. Man, there is
that's off base. That's off base.
Non Merrill Reese love going on out there. I'm surprised.
It's Jim Jackson right now, and I really like Jim Jackson. Who was before Jim Jackson?
There was a really legendary Flyers announcer. I don't even know his name. Someone said it in the comments, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. What's trending? You know, on Trending in the AM. Great segment today, guys. All right, this is it. This is the end of this week. Another great week here on Trending in the AM. Thanks to Cole, Jason, Dylan, everybody that stopped by and helped me get this show going this week. We got the new intro that was dropped today. Got lots that's going on. Phillies, Pirates this weekend. We all got them winning tonight. You know, everybody have a great weekend. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be stuck at the pizza shop all day. Stop by Fox's Pizza in Kennett. Hey, I'll be there open to close literally the next 3 days. So come on out. Come sweat it out. Have a slice of pizza with me. Yo, guys.
Make a trade.
Yeah, make a trade. Ring the bell by making Jose Quintana your starter tonight. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell, baby.
Ring the bell.